Hey, Corum.
Hey, bitch. I heard that you have a soy boy you want to talk about.
Uh, yeah. What are you doing here, Mr. Kruger?
Chilling, killing.
Chilling?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to be woke.
Oh, but you don't
Get
want
it?
people to.
Ah!
What?
The Banana Bear Show! Greatest is cooking! Hell yeah! The Banana Bear Show! Banana Bear Show! Ring the sick in the dumb woke! Laughing at them cause we want the smoke! The Banana Bear Show!
We're gonna talk about in praise of shadows. I think that's how you say it. Oh gosh, this is such a horrible name. No. No, this guy came out and he started talking about Wendigoon, TurkeyTom, and a whole bunch of other people, and slandered them in a video. And like he was crying and complaining about The Hills Have Eyes, his review on it, or his breakdown, whatever he wants to call it. This guy is a bad faith, no talent YouTuber. And I just want to run through some examples of how his content sucks, and then
Yeah.
show how it kind of flows over into the treatment that he does with some research of people, and then just throws out these accusations with no thought behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a horror guy, Mikey.
Oh yeah, I know.
I gotta say,
You're scaring me.
I scare myself too, especially when I wear these tees.
Hey, you can go check out the Banana Bear show shop, and get a tee like that, like Mr. Kruger's wearing. Or you can get our new shirt, one of the pillars of the Banana Bear Show, Cyrex dancing, or
He's
holding
kind
up
of
a
like
sign.
me, a PDF file.
Oh no.
Yeah, bitch.
Uh, but be sure to get that shirt. It's limited run. It's going to be gone at the end of the month,
Yeah.
and we're going to move on. It's one of four. So who's going to be the next one? We don't know.
I can tell you one thing. Cyrex scares me. Have you heard his music?
Oh, that hurts my ears.
The noise.
You
Well,
should use.
Mikey, I'll let you talk about this horror guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get your little friend back here, uh,
Okay.
because it's hard to breathe with all this wokeness in this video. Fucker.
Happy you're back.
Hey, Mikey, what I missed?
Weekend,
Nothing yet.
Oh, okay.
February 16th through the 18th. I traveled to Concord, North Carolina to
So a little backstory, and we're gonna kind of fly through this. I hope that we can speed this up. Actually, payback. Oh yes, okay. I'm gonna speed this up to 1.5 because he talks so slowly. It almost makes it a normal video
attend
whenever
the
you
Sheriff
speed it up.
Master Party, which was far and away the most redneck and unprofessional convention that I'd ever been to in my life that was operating at this level of scale. The only thing that I could really compare it to for you is that it felt like something that was being run by that guy at your local small-town comic book store that had somehow gotten out of hand. The reason for my visit was due to a large amount of negative attention that the convention had received surrounding their headlining guest of honor, the alleged rapist, Kevin Spacey. But before we get to that, I think that we should talk about the
Okay,
Wow.
go.
For someone to be woke, I just throw that out there. Whoa. Trigger.
So he goes to this con, Mad Monster, and he goes there because Kevin Spacey's gonna be there, because he doesn't like Kevin Spacey. Like, I know Kevin Spacey's done some stuff, or alleged at doing some stuff bad, whatever. He's done one horror movie, right? Seven.
No, he did 7. He was I think he's done other ones, but nothing like 7.
Okay.
7 was the biggest horror one,
Okay, yeah.
I want to
So,
say.
I mean, he was in a horror movie. I mean, they bring people to these conventions who have been in one horror movie. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. You get who you can. I don't know why he's faulting these people, but
Well,
he goes. Oh,
It is kind of spacey, you know.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fine. But he goes there and he just craps all over this convention. And I really just listen.
Convention itself, because once I arrived there, I realized very quickly how these conditions resulted in a spacey invitation, as everything in the way that this was conducted is like the epitome of a misguided and mismanaged mess. Now, booking spacey is, in any sense of public optics, a very dumb idea, and you could try to write these people off as just straight up morons, but they fully understood what they were doing, as on all of their public advertisements, they just happened to forget to include spacey along with all of the faces of the other big guests. They knew that they had to spend this. First of all, I arrived at the convention and their small main parking lot was already filled, and they gave me directions to their overflow parking area that upon arrival I realized was well over half a mile away from the event, and that they had arranged no shuttle services whatsoever, meaning that I had to walk down a dirt trail that had large rocks in it in the February cold to get back to their main building, which, was fine for me. I'm in relatively good health, but you can't expect all guests who want to attend your public event to be able to physically do that. At night,
I mean, that's fair, but also, and
I mean, Mikey, do you know how many bad comic book conventions I've gone to when I was covering comic books? A fuckload.
yeah,
And I got passes where come, because I was somewhat name of comic book reviews and stuff, but I wasn't a guest. It was more like, oh, do coverage for it, and they were fucking so small. I was like, I can't cover anything. You're in a hotel. I did some video, I did some Twitter of it, and that's it. I couldn't put it on a channel. It was more or less like if they had artists or writers, just talking to them, and I did that. But like the actual convention itself is never great. Plus, I'm a horror guy, obviously. So, not all of us know how to use what is it called? Deodorant.
oh,
That's for comic book people, but like horror people, it's I think a little better.
okay. I was about to say that's kind of a common place for all cons, I feel like. I mean, no offense to anybody, any kind of cons.
No, offense,
but...
offense. Use fucking deodorant. Bathe. It's not your fucking basement. There's other people there.
Stop normalizing stink.
Yeah.
night, I then had to walk the same trail back to my car in pitch black darkness, which is just a lawsuit waiting to happen. I'm not someone to ever actually make a complaint about something like that, but the reality of the situation is that not providing
But he just did. He literally just did.
shuttle services to guests who can't walk when you make them park so far away immediately makes you seem totally unprofessional. When I finally got inside to purchase a weekend ticket at the front desk, they tried to put a paper wristband on me. I tried to clarify saying that I didn't want a day pass, I wanted the weekend pass. And they said that that was the weekend pass. I asked if they didn't have any security badges, which are the norm for essentially any con of this size.
I mean, it's not.
They instead expected me to wear this paper wristband at all times for 3 days straight. By the second day, it was falling apart because I had taken a shower and it became very soggy and uncomfortable to wear.
He's uncomfortable.
There were no posted schedules of the events anywhere in the building. I asked the front desk if they had any printed flyers or brochures of when the Q&A events were going to be held, and they told me no. They had nothing printed, and that the only way to find out what time things were happening was to go to the Mad Monster website and find their schedule there. At their Q&A event,
which is fair. I mean, everybody has a cell phone. You can look them up, because people don't know this. Whenever you print out thousands and thousands of flyers, that paper is expensive. Ink's expensive. If you can save a few dollars and say, go look at the website, that's how some of these smaller cons stay afloat. Penny pitching. It happens.
The first 10 rows of the auditorium were reserved for VIP ticket holders only. The problem with that is that next to nobody purchased the VIP tickets, which resulted in the celebrities being separated from the audience by 10 mostly empty rows, really killing any kind of ability for the guests to build any kind of energy with the crowd, resulting in the panels being painfully awkward at times. Also because the guests were not actually really that famous, which we're gonna get to. The audience...
Which we're gonna get to. I'm so cool.
He's so cool. He bought the ticket.
Often just didn't have any questions for them because they didn't know who they were. So most of the Q&As only lasted for about 20 minutes or so, even though they had all been scheduled for an hour. I didn't eat before I got there the first day and expected to buy a snack at some point while I was there, and was very upset to learn that there was only an alcohol stand in the convention floor, and no food whatsoever. So I didn't end up eating until about 10 p.m. later that night. The next day I did actually learn that there was a food area for the con set up in the lobby of the hotel next to the convention center, but there were no signs telling you of this, and it was very much hidden. Luckily, the first night after...
That's not their fault. I mean, literally keep asking people until you find out where the food thing is.
This guy's a fucking incel. Like, he doesn't talk to people. Like I guarantee you, he wanted everything to be perfect, like I did in New York Comic Con. But bro, cons aren't all the same, and they're mostly like this. This the setup he's showing kind of reminds me of like gun shows. Like, you don't go to a gun show. I'm like, where's the
Where's the food?
Where's the food? I'm tired of looking like at ARs.
My blood sugar.
Those being automatic rifles, right? But like, fucking, dude, I don't know about you, but like, maybe this is a bad video to like introduce somebody to him with, or he's like this all the time.
Seems like he's like this all the time, but
Like,
I mean, this is his whole movie. Like, this is his whole video. That's just like put all this together, and then he slanders people in it. Like, it's just a constant slander.
And it's funny because like I see how it's set up, like it's in that little like, oh, it's like a TV. That's so much wasted space. I like his background is like looks like flowers, which is weird. You're supposed to be a horror convention. It should be like, I don't know, like thunder clouds or something like that.
Yeah.
Or something. It's like he's missing the point of fucking horror.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Like you see this background? It's more horror based, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I went to a horror convention and blah blah. It doesn't match.
Yeah.
So like,
After having a late dinner, I could relax in the indoor pool that my hotel was advertised as having, which was just magnificent. Although, I guess I can't blame that on Mad Monster. Now, okay,
exactly, so I don't know why you're saying it.
It should be made that even if the past 10 years of his life had not happened, should Kevin Spacey himself be the headlining guest at a horror convention in the first place? Most
Why
people,
not?
if you asked them what horror movies Spacey had been in, would probably Spacey.
Okay, and then he talks about Spacey for a long time, which, whatever. That doesn't bother me. But we'll move up to here.
These things, so them being present is neither here nor there. So you can see that by booking Spacey, they totally ruined the show that they were throwing, even being about horror, because they couldn't get anyone with any major clout who was both respectable
Still talking
and
about
majorly
Spacey.
relevant besides those that I've mentioned within the genre to actually show up.
So then he starts talking about Cody Leach, who is a covers horror movies on his channel, and just
Fellow horror YouTuber Cody Leach was actually also at the convention
have fun.
and made his own videos on his experiences with it. He's a guy that I have not historically agreed with on most things. He listed on his team, complaining that horror shouldn't be this pretentious and snooty, his words, not mine, and should focus instead on being entertaining and not trying to be cute by using art house aspect.
So he did say he listed Midsommar as a not good movie, which I know you disagree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Heavily.
But then he
Lighthouse, I get.
Yeah, yeah, he did
Because
Lighthouse.
that was like artsy,
Yeah,
and yeah, but like Midsummer, no, that was a good horror movie.
yeah. So it's funny because you're like in the middle.
No, just for the like, I understand. Like with that director, it's fucking it. He goes so far on that aspect, but that has a lot of horror to do with it.
Yeah.
It's a horror movie. It has art things in it, but the more you dig into that movie, the more you get out of it.
Right.
But like, yeah, I'm not gonna agree with every horror guy. Like,
Exactly.
I used to do the horror reviews. Like, if fucking people probably didn't agree with me. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's fucking the whole thing about horror is like fucking. It's a good safe space for any fan because you can like any type of horror, and it's fine. If you like the soft stuff, sure. You like the really insane stuff, good for you. But like, it's weird. But like, you can like different aspects of it, and it's fine.
Right.
But like this guy, because I know one thing that he reviewed a little bit, and when I heard it, I'm just like, what? Like he doesn't get horror.
No. And we'll go over that more in a minute, but I want to this is just kind of a basis setting you up with the kind of stuff that he does. Like he's sleazy or just dumb.
Ratios. Again, His words, not mine. He also did not appreciate the homoerotic basis of the movie, and complained that it was just weird for weird's sake, and to me just didn't try to appreciate the film on its level. In my personal opinion, he is a deeply unserious critic, and can actually be to an
Can't appreciate the movie on its level.
extent a symbol of what
So
I want the
pretentious.
message of this video to be about. Because if you watched his video about Mad Monster Con, you would think it was a great time, a wonderful convention.
Maybe he
There
had
is
a great
clear
time.
dichotomy
Yeah, like how I hate when people like put their dick into fucking the community punch and saying, "Oh, this doesn't feel right." Bitch, like fucking they're drinking the punch and you're just not looking at it correctly. Now, if you had a bad time, sure, you
Yeah.
could complain about that, but you could say that's why, like with any review of a thing or a movie, I always say, look, this is my opinion,
Mhm.
and you could like it, you could not like it. Same with the comic books or anything I reviewed back in the Disney. Fucking, it's my opinion, you know.
Yep.
And the only difference between my opinion and let's say this guy, now if you're going by opinion, like dislike, at one point and another, when I was doing the horror stuff or the comic book stuff, I had a big fan base which they liked my opinion. That's why they watched me.
Right.
So they agree with my opinion, so they like my views. This guy, however, it seems like, oh, well, it doesn't matter because the facts are it was a good
Yeah.
movie.
Pretentious and thinks he knows what's right and what's wrong.
And that this is the one genre of film that you can't be fucking artsy fartsy. Fuck you, like it. Horror movies don't get Academy Awards. You know
Yep.
that, right?
Yep.
Only one did. One, no, sorry, two, because Nope got some because of the political stuff. But
Oh, yeah.
Silence of the Lambs was the only one, and they didn't call it a horror
Wow.
movie. They called it a thriller. Hollywood does not. They're not like pretentious with the horror stuff. They don't get it,
Right.
and that's why I like horror a lot, because even if it is like Hollywood, it's its own thing, and like you can't really corrupt it. Even in today's society, it's really hard to try to feed the woke shit into it because it just fails, and then it has to move on to the next phase, which ghosts. Like
between our two experiences, and I think there's something interesting in that. And this ties into this theory that I've had for a long time that is kind of the thesis of this video, and that I think there's actually not one, but two distinct horror communities that do not overlap. One that is more concerned with writing and thinking about how our own experiences and world are reflected through art. A group that overall is less concerned with how much a movie makes at the box office and more with what it is trying to say as a work of art, and how it relates to ourselves and culture as people.
that's film. That's just film in general.
Yeah.
And then you have another that is more conservative and traditionally capital A American, and is based more in basic consumerism, and viewing movies strictly as entertainment and nothing else.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all.
No.
Because bro, I went to a fucking stream a couple times of like indie fucking horror movies. The House of Jack Bell, right?
Mhm.
Now, if I was like one of those, oh, what they're building here is a narrative of, a psychosis person going through their trauma. And then the conservative part was, this is fucking 3 hours of a guy fucking saying how he loves killing things and kills things. And it's fucking disturbing. And it goes too far. And like, it's not fun anymore. Like, movies have to be entertaining as well as, if you want to put a fucking little notch of, yeah, this is about healthcare. Like, fucking, it has to be a good blend.
Yeah.
And I understand where he's like, oh, well, people think about writing and all that stuff. Bro, Friday 13th is not written very well. It made a lot of money because they had killing and it was entertaining, right?
Yep.
You can say that about like, Freddy. Like, Freddy was, if the horror community makes those like leaps of like continuity and all that stuff on some things, like, oh, that makes sense. That makes sense when it doesn't, because they had a weird budget, so Freddy came back by a dog pissing on his bones.
Yeah.
Like, is that good writing? No,
No.
but like we just accept it. And him saying conservative already, because conservative, it has nothing to do with horror.
Yep.
Because you're seeing people getting killed.
A group that often gets angry at the very notion of subtext existing within a work of fiction, and views art not as a means to express what it means to exist, but instead that sees the value of creation just within the context of how fun an experience that product is. And product is the right word here, as this side of horror is obsessed
I bet you fucking money this guy loved, uh, you know, Beau is Afraid,
Oh, of course.
and like didn't like it, but like I watched that movie, and even as a horror fan, like Rin wise, I get the concept of it wasn't fun to watch. A penis monster, you know, or symbolizing his dad, like I because I don't get like he's like they don't crisscross, but they crisscross all the time. Fucking Infinity Pool is a fucking it has a lot of fucking deep messages in.
Hmm.
That's the last horror movie that had some meaning to it that I watched.
No, really?
Yeah, and like because you could see that it's about morality of like if you could kill like you kill somebody, they make a double of you and then they kill the double.
Hmm.
So it's morality based, right?
Yeah.
Well, this fucker probably watched Infinity Pool and was like, oh, it was a film about grotesque things and American government. Like it's no, fuck you.
that he had been there based on his video. And you know, I think that people who are in my line of work have a certain level of responsibility
My line of work, fuck you.
to appropriately cover the things that we choose to talk about. So
Okay, so
Mikey, I think we get it. He's a fucking
I
pompous
mean,
asshole.
he's criticizing YouTuber for not criticizing Mad Monster.
in my opinion, making a glowing half-hour-long video about how cool Mad Monster is in the wake of them trying to publicly rehabilitate Spacey's image into a right-wing personality at a convention held in the South, which happened within weeks after he appeared on Tucker Carlson's show, is not a very responsible use of your platform.
That is some theory craziness right there.
No one's
Like,
gonna forget that he touched people's like actors' dicks
yeah,
and then tried covering it up by saying, "Oh, but I'm gay."
yeah.
Like, no, he's never gonna be a good person. Do you remember?
But there's so many of those people in Hollywood. I mean,
Yeah, no. He's a piece of shit among
yeah,
pieces of shit.
yeah,
But like, do you remember Marv Albert, like that sports like commentator back in the day in the '90s? He did basketball.
maybe.
Yes,
I don't know.
yes. Marv Albert. There's a photo that came out of him wearing women's clothing. When that happened, it fucked his whole career up. Like for a year, he was gone. They brought him back, and it kind of fucking like nobody talked about it. But I will always remember Marv Albert as a drag queen in that
Nice.
one, and it was like dominatrix. It was fucking weird. Not like shit today, but
I
still,
was about to say.
you could never change anything unless it was like an allegation that was dropped, and then just fuck like uh, Johnny Depp. You know how they ruined his shit, and now he's coming back from it.
Yeah,
Kevin Spacey did all that shit that he was accused of.
right.
Like he can't come back.
So he goes on to say, people are saying vendors are pulling out, everybody's getting mad. And from what I could see, I mean, there were some maybe vendors pull out, but I mean,
It always happens.
for the core audience that people went there, it seemed to be fine. So we'll pop up here a little bit and talking about he talks about bad faith criticism towards him.
The next one, and we'll have an announcement soon about when that's going to be. So,
Reanalysis of Wes Craven, The Hills Have
Oh,
Eyes,
wait,
and the
hold on a second.
What?
Go back
What to wear?
to the fucking little fucking whatever outfit he was wearing.
Oh,
That just screams gay.
I mean, I think he is.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, really?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
A gay cowboy with a pedo stash is telling me about how a horror should be like this. Fuck you. And I'm not making fun of him for being gay. I'm saying, like,
Right.
dude, don't have a little fucking video of you saying, "Oh, man, this convention sucked," and then you're slamming. Oh God, fuck this guy. Fuck this guy. Look, fuck him.
I'd like to talk to you about the worst.
Why is he wearing a cowboy fucking?
So, January of 2022, okay? I made a video about The Hills Have Eyes that went very badly. And I've never really spoken about this or even really addressed that it was a thing, except for maybe just a couple of times on
I
Twitter.
feel like he has on
When
Twitter.
it happened, I just hope that it would eventually
Like multiple
disappear, but
times.
It never has. And I think that we should start here by addressing the elephant in the room far too long after he arrived.
Yeah, that you're horrible, right? Like, if so many people slam you for your ideas, then you have an idea that is kind of against the masses.
Yep.
It's a hot take. So take the fucking lumps with it.
So, this is a brief reanalysis of Wes Craven, The Hills Have Eyes, and the internet's general response to some pretty basic things that I said about him and his work about 2 years ago. In the
Wah.
time since making that video, very often it is the case that when conservatives want
Keep in mind, he did this video 2 years ago, and he's still holding on to this 2 years later.
Conservative.
Yeah.
to criticize
Conservative.
me, they will go back to that and use it as a weapon. By
When a person uses conservative and not, now if you say left, white, right, you know, that shit, or woke, and conservative, or liberal, and buzzwords about politics,
Yep.
you know his mindset is all about fuck Trump. Like he doesn't give a fuck, and those conservatives are all racist. That's what he thinks in his head. That's
100%.
delusion. And people like that need to be educated on being fucking dumb. Like this guy is fucking dumb.
Yep.
Get out of my fucking culture, you fucking like I fucking hate people that fucking ruin things I like.
Quorum, there's
How-
more.
I know, Mikey, but I gotta tell you that like it's fucking. This is the last thing, Mikey. The last fandom I have.
It's going
like-
down.
Like fucking dude, comic books are dead. They're gone.
Yep.
They're fucking shit. They will never be good again. They are so woke and diversity driven. the stories don't matter. Fucking any like Star Wars is gone. You know, like fuck Warhammer. I haven't even got into. They are already ruining it. Like horror is the only thing that's left that could take the bumps of wokeism and diversity and still keep going because there's so much of it. But then you have a fucktard like this in a little whatever background that's supposed to be of talking about The Hills Have Eyes, which I'll does he say it's a bad movie? Because in my opinion, the original Hills Have Eyes kind of sucks. You know, the remake's better.
Yeah.
It's way better. It's more
twisted my words
conservative.
in very bad faith to make it look like I said something that I obviously did not intend if you had watched the video. Usually in an attempt to make me either look crazy or cartoonish or racist, or that I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm unqualified
don't
to
know.
have this job. A recent example of this happened in this past January, when Mark After Dark on Twitter said, IPOS himself has said some really racist shit towards Native
So FYI, you can get in the live rent free in this guy's head for years.
First Nations people in his Hills Have Eyes video too. He's not one to talk. In fact, Mark After Dark has been slandering me pretty consistently now for years in relation
I take notes, guys. I take notes on everything he says.
to The Hills Have Eyes, often getting hundreds of likes every single time by either saying lies about me or really taking my words in completely bad faith. And
Well,
every
it
time
seems
he does this,
it seems like if he's getting hundreds of likes on bashing you, that your fan base is hate watching you, and you don't have a fan base. And the job that you have, if you review things, that's not your job. That's a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're getting paid for it, you're getting paid for your hobby, because everyone could review anything. Anybody could do it.
Yep.
Even if you have this art lens that you think you could do it, like fucking what? I bet you money if this fucker watched RoboCop, he wouldn't get it. Like, that's like the best analogy I could make, because RoboCop is like the one film I could consider that anyone could make a thesis out of, tons of pages, because there's so much shit in there.
Yeah.
But this fucker would miss the point saying it's all about corruption in big business because they're all conservative. But the one liberal guy, you know, is because there's only a couple black people in there, so they're racist. Like, what?
it hurts my reputation just a little bit more. These things
A little bit more. You have no good
do
reputation.
have a very real effect, because if
Shave the mustache.
people say things enough times, then other people will believe it. It doesn't matter if it's actually true. He was the first that I could tell to actually tweet something negative about me in the fallout from that video's release.
He knows. He knows it's the first person to tweet something negative about him. Like, how big brained do you have to be able to say something like that in a video?
I went through all the comments, and he was the first one to make an actual video about me, because I look up my name every fucking day.
Oh my god.
Because that's what
He said,
YouTubers do,
YouTube
right?
Film essays. The Cannibals in the Hills Have Eyes are
If I see a negative comment, I'm like, oh, that sucks. And then I move on. Like, I literally forget about it. Move on, dude.
Actually the good guys, because they're poor, and the family is everything wrong about America. They're middle class and one is a retired cop. Cuts to footage of January 6th storming the Capitol, which I hope you'll be able to see is taking my basic argument and contorting it to appear as ridiculous as possible, even though it did make sense within the context of the actual video. I mean, that video is an hour and 25 minutes. Reducing what I was trying to get across down to a single one-sentence tweet, of course, is going to make me look like an insane person.
Okay. So, in response to this, we're going to go look at that video, and I'm going to play you the exact clip where he says this. It is like, what? It is a short clip, and I mean, that's what I took away from it as well.
The hills have eyes.
Okay.
Wendigoon is very... The Hills Have Eyes is a movie that nobody wanted to make. It was a marriage of convenience, built on compromises that left everyone somewhat unsatisfied. Comedic and satirical eye. In my opinion, he isn't really suited for that raw, pure, animalistic, slaughterhouse-based horror that he was emulating from Hooper's film.
He's talking about,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
yeah.
You probably didn't get that either.
At times, this work feels melodramatic and goofy.
Do you know? Here's a fun fact. The creation of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was about lying to the audience because Vietnam was a lie. And the moment that Hooper had during Christmas shopping at a hardware store where he's like, man, what would happen if I just killed everybody here with a chainsaw? There's nothing artsy about like, oh, the adoption and stuff. It's fucking, those two things are the only reason why those things were made. Fuck you.
And that's not a bad thing, but definitely contrast with the tone
So here's
that
where
they
it
seem to be
starts.
going for. Both do not easily exist in the same space. That being said though, nobody has ever since 1974 been able to make something that felt this hot and dirty. Hooper didn't even recapture that
Devil's Rejects.
feeling when he revisited Chainsaw a little over a decade later, although I would argue he wasn't really trying to recapture it.
No, he didn't. He knew he couldn't make a good sequel, so he made that because he had to make one to make the movies he wanted to make for Orion. That's why he made Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. He knew it wasn't going to be good, so he kind of made it campy.
And any film since then trying to recreate that intensity only pales in comparison to the original. So it isn't really a complaint that can be
I could kind of somewhat see that because it's still, in my opinion, it's the best horror movie ever made. So
lodged against The Hills Have Eyes. There can only be one Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
okay.
A common theme between these films is that of meat, or the consumption of people. Economic domination requires the consumption of the flesh and lifeblood of another. The complete desolation and destruction of one group for the greed-based prosperity of yourself and
Wow, he is going way too much over here.
Yeah,
He is pulling way too much.
others like you.
Just the beginning.
Stripping away the flesh of anything resembling joy or humanity and eating it in the name of profit.
There's no profit. None. The Hills Have Eyes. They're fucking backwoods fucking hillbillies.
Oh, he gets to that.
Cannibalism as a theme both in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and The Hills Have Eyes is a subversion and commentary on how historically rural country Americans are constantly crushed under the turning wheels of industry and
Yeah. But the consumption, like, oh, they eat people, is because they had no, like, they didn't have a job anymore. So they ate people because they were hunting them, like, you know, like back in the day. Why are you, oh my
drained
God.
of everything that they have so that the goods that they produce can be purchased at a fraction of their value and shipped off to larger, wealthier areas, leaving those rural stretches of land as husks that never grow or prosper out of these conditions, only making by with what little they have. In these films, those seen as rural hicks are
Hey, so I'm wondering, what did he think of Franklin being, you know, in a wheelchair and getting killed? Oh no, but he was a good. He was America, you know. Sally, you know, she's upper class. Although the fact that he is just like those people that got killed in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, he's a fucking hippie leftist. So if anything, it would be, oh, the conservative Leatherface is killing us and trying to consume our identity of freedom.
Are rising up and eating the flesh of their symbolic masters, consuming them just as they themselves have been consumed. It is no coincidence that the father and the patriarch of the family, who is wanting to keep things as they traditionally
He's
are,
a cop.
is a retired cop.
Yeah, it shows that
A symbolic and historic symbol of oppression that upkeeps wealth disparities by
Mikey, get to the fucking point.
No.
Because we're gonna be on this all day. Mikey, I'm gonna just fucking keep sobbing this. I'm not fucking with you. This guy is so retarded. Oh, it's a cop because, rich people. It's not like cops, aren't rich. What the fuck does that have to do with what he's talking about? It's nothing. Did he fucking review Pumpkinhead?
Yes.
protecting those that
The whole
perpetrate
series.
I don't give a fuck about the other ones other than original. He probably don't tell me. How did he swing that one? How did he swing the fucking Southern guy being a oppressed thing from like the Yankees that killed his kid? So he fucking sacrifices himself technically to get vengeance, and then out of that changes his mind because it was a fucked up way to kill somebody by poking them to death with a gun.
wealth crimes against the poor. He has a large dog that he travels with, and the film ends with one of the rednecks being gored to death by a dog ripping open his neck.
Yeah. What happened to the other dog?
It died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where you're like, that's in the film. That's when you're like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yep.
Because he fucking killed the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but dogs mean something else, don't they, Mikey?
And not only that, but he is a wealthy cop. His kids go to nice universities.
Ohio State.
My job is to make you rage quit.
Mikey,
Yeah.
just because you're a Big Ten school doesn't make you like Ivy League.
Right.
It's a big university. It costs money. All universities do, except for like, I don't know, community college.
That they broadcast on their clothes. They all present with style and can afford to take vacations across the country.
How old is this guy?
I don't know.
Does he not realize that in the 90s, families could do that?
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Because people were families. Oh, well, we're not in the ghettos and shit like that. Fuck you, they did. Everyone had fucking family vacations. Unless you didn't have a dad, which you probably didn't. Look at the fucking coat he's wearing.
They are representative of everything wrong in America. Everything that keeps the hill people from being able to grow.
The hill people are fucking backwoods goons. Now,
Yep.
and they're cannibals.
They're bad
the
guys.
Bad guys. They're inbred. That's why they look that way. But no, they're the good guys because fuck America, right?
Yep.
And be financially stable. And I also do not think that it is a coincidence that their last name is Carter. And share that name with a family of famous American folk singers.
How about the president, Jimmy Carter, huh?
Who started the genre of popular country music as we know it today. A family whose origins were in poverty, but
Evil.
ascended from that into wealth by using.
Well, here's the thing, as a YouTube film critic, I can't see myself like these people because I'm not good enough at my job to make money. So I'm never going to be successful and build wealth. And if I did, I would just give it to the cannibals. They need it more.
Losing the backbone of rural America.
I fucking hate hippie people like this shit. Like, it's worse.
We
It's
call
worse.
them communists, Quorum.
Okay, yeah, socialist fucking bitches. Like, I hate this shit. Like, oh, the rich people, the rich people. Mike, I'm not a rich person.
Nope.
I live in Cleveland. I can't. So, like, me saying this, I understand you hate people with success. But instead of striving to do success yourself, you're trying to bring them down to your level,
Right.
the shit level, the gay cowboy level with the mustache. And
American aesthetics, values, and culture.
where's this clip that you said?
We're doing it right now. We're doing it.
And
I'm
in a
playing
way,
the whole
film
clip
asks
so he
if
can't
these
say I
people
took it out
are
of
wrong
context.
for killing their invaders. Is it wrong to eat the people who have been eating you and your ancestors for decades and even centuries?
When did they eat him? When? When did the back folks that have been living off this land and been eating? They've been eating them for a long time because look at their fucking gear. It's filled with fucking baby corpses and fucking other bones because they've been doing this for years.
Consuming everything that you and your people have ever made without creating anything of substantial value themselves.
Unlike everything they bought, all that stuff, that wealth comes from actually doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
Example, what's not wealthy is this guy that's getting made fun of that does these bad horror reviews. What does he give that people want? Bad takes? Yeah. How does that? You didn't make anything.
Nothing.
The phrase isn't kill the rich, it isn't hang the rich, it's eat the rich, and was done that way with intention.
Eat the rich is a saying that people say, like, when they're talking about like corrupt CEOs, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, eat the rich because they don't deserve it and all that stuff, which is true to some aspects. There's people that are, have mad money and all that stuff, and they get away with crimes, like, going to an island, having sex with little boys,
Mm-hmm.
with cowboy, jackets on and all that crap. But I'm saying this: Eat the Rich is not in this movie.
Yep.
It's not. There's nothing there.
Father Jupiter and his family are filled with murderous rage, but why shouldn't they be?
They eat people.
Do you see the surroundings that they are forced to put up?
That's their home.
They enjoy their home.
They eat this way because it's not their home. And they got consumption issues with having livestock there. That's why they lure people into the desert and then they, kill and rape them.
Yep. At one point, he says to the father, Bob Carter, "Your dog made sport of my blood, you pig. I'm gonna kill your kids for that. You come out here and stick your life in my face, stick your fingers in my pie. That was a bad mistake. I thought you were smart and tough. You're stupid. You're nothing. I'm gonna watch your goddamn car rust out. Yes, I will. I'll see the wind blow your dried up seeds away. I'll eat the heart of your stinking memory. I'll eat the brains of your kids' kids. There is a tangible..."
Where does it say anything about eating the rich? You should not come over here. Take my pie and all that stuff.
fury here. An unadulterated need for blood, and through that, vengeance. Vengeance at their situation and the systems in place that have forced them into this.
Oh, yeah, force them. Mikey,
Yeah.
when the chips get me down, fuck it. Eat the people.
That's what we should normalize.
Yeah, they're not the bad guys. They, you see a dog, fucking kill it. It's food now. Because the fucking rich people took everything. Other than the fact that this is our land, that we don't pay taxes or anything like that. We're country bumpkins. We're inbred, so we ain't smart. inbred hillbillies that eat people. They finally attack a middle class fucking family. And yet the bad guy is the middle class family. What?
In a way, are they not justified for their actions? The hill people can be representative of anything that you want them to be, really. They can be Native Americans, and the hills themselves can be allegorical of them being forced back onto
Oh, you know what? It's a good point. In this scene right here, he's about to, essay her. But you know what? It's justified.
Yeah.
Because, this allegory for these hillbilly inbred cannibals could be about anybody, Mikey. It could be about, the slave trade. This damn family got lost. They deserve to be essayed and killed and eaten. Because if you don't agree with that, you're a Nazi.
reservations. They can be Black Americans that have for hundreds of years been
Oh my God, I called it! I fucking called it, Mikey.
forced to live within a dehumanizing system that has balances in place that assure that they never get ahead. They can be anyone who has been a victim of hundreds of years of horrifically violent, white, wealthy, educated.
I love that
criminals.
part.
But the tragic and
I love that part. They trap a guy in that RV.
And they
blow
blow
it
it up.
unfortunately
Yeah.
thematic, logical thing about The Hills Have Eyes is that this plot to rise up against them doesn't work. And that isn't Craven saying that it shouldn't work, but that the systems have been in place for so long and have so many people convinced that
The girl got.
Essayed.
Oh, the plan didn't work.
this is the natural way that things should be, that resistance inevitably ends in bloodshed and failure. That the horrors of the world dictate that no matter how much we fight against these things, they will continue to prevail, because those with money have an invested interest in keeping things the way that they are. The family overtakes the hill people and win, because they have the means to do so. They have more resources at their disposal. They use their car, a machine
The hill people have guns.
representative of their wealth to trap Papa Jupiter, and mortally wound him with his own weapon that resembles a tomahawk. Before Bobby finishes him off,
Resembles a tomahawk. It's a fucking axe. You know what else it resembles, Mikey?
What?
A fire axe.
Yep.
Fucking firemen.
Yep.
They're the victims.
Yep.
It also represents a bearded axe. Oh no, those damn
What?
Vikings.
What does the gun represent that the hill people have?
Society.
with the symbol of police violence, and in
Wait, so they're wielding society?
turn a tool of upholding authority, his father's handgun. And ultimately, at the very end of it all, the hill people only lose because of a class traitor in their midst, who helps
A class traitor! A class traitor! Dude, this guy's a racist piece of shit! This guy's I guarantee you, if he calls her like a Uncle Tom, I shit you not, it will be the funniest thing.
Status quo, fearing what the uncertainties of change may bring. She stabs her brother in the back with the fangs of a rattlesnake.
Because he was wrong!
Yep. Morally wrong.
Just as he has the upper hand. And as he falls to the ground, the symbol of inherited generational wealth, education, and power stands over his already dying body and stabs him repeatedly in the heart. Not to kill him, which at this point is already an inevitability, but to remind him of his place. To remind him where the power
Mwah.
lies, to wound his spirit and kill his mind in a metaphorical sense, for daring to stand up to them. The cruelty is the point here. And in these final shots, are how these acts presented any different from those of the Jupiter family in the hills throughout the rest of the film? When concepts
No different.
That the whole reason why, the son, violently fucking kills the hill people is because that's what happened to them. It shows. You want a moral fucking lesson? It shows when violence happens to normal people, they become violent. That's all it says.
Yep.
You dirty fucking cowboy bebop fuckhead. That's all it says.
But anyway,
But this race turncoat.
of wealth and influence are removed, and all that is left of the person is the basic need of survival. All that remains are two animalistic creatures rolling around to see who dies first in the dirt.
that's all that remains. And that's his whole quote. I wanted to play the full thing. And this is basically what I wanted to show for this video, Corum. I am going to play a couple clips from TurkeyTom and then one from Wendigoon himself, because those videos from those people, go watch them. There's one from Brandon Buckingham, TurkeyTom did one, Mutahar did one, Oompaville did one. All these people are named in this video at one point or the other. But yeah, go watch their videos because they do an excellent job breaking him down. I thought about covering one of their videos, but I knew this was the coup d'etat. This is the mwah, because Quorum hates this.
I hate dumb.
This
Wendigoon is very publicly friends with TurkeyTom. Tom has been
So this is just a quick overview of what was said.
And he still has the pedo mustache.
Yep.
been accused of using the N-word multiple times in private conversations, including these screenshots of texts that are alleged to be real.
Yo, shout out, boys!
He is friends with Brandon Buckingham, a gun YouTuber who has been accused of threatening
Calling all red-pilled alpha males. We are under attack. The ship that is the Tom Dark channel. All the Patriots aboard it. Our lives are in danger. We've had some cannons fired at us from a fellow YouTuber by the name of InPraiseOfShadows. This guy right
Who
here.
the fuck subscribes to this guy?
What is this color grading, my guy?
In a desperate attempt to make Wendigoon look bad for being friends with me, this overweight loser described me as a gun YouTuber who's been accused of threatening
Diddling unwantedly.
He's friends with Brandon Buckingham, a gun YouTuber who has been accused of threatening.
Needless to say, we're in for a pretty funny video.
So real quick, he goes on to say that Brandon Buckingham said something about his girlfriend, which was actually said he said it to Sneeko, who repeated it as it was non-consensual essay, where Brandon Buckingham was making a joke about consent. He was saying, your girlfriend wants to, and then Sneeko flipped it. And then this guy didn't do any research and just straight up just said it as what you just heard.
I love the little fucking rainbow thing right there.
Yep.
Just look at it. Yeah. What the heck is that?
So this dude in Praise of Shadows, who we'll be calling Gabe for the duration of this video.
His real name's Gabe.
I mean, just look at the guy. No offense to
Gabe.
any Gabes in my audience, okay?
Yeah. Why didn't you
Actually,
show this
what a weird
before?
name.
Get that changed, bro.
It turns out
Gabe.
his name is actually Zane. But we're gonna call him Gabe anyway, because it's funny.
He posted
Yeah,
a
okay.
3-hour-long video titled Bad Conservative Horror Movies, and it's getting some serious buzz right now.
Okay. That's all I wanted to show with that. But definitely go check out those other videos. They are good. They break down the response a lot better than probably I would have. The last thing I want to play is Wendigoon's response. He did not do a full-length video on this. He got on a call with Brandon Buckingham, and this is what his response is. And if you're part of his tribe or subscriber base or anything, and even our stuff, like, respect this. I did this just because it's fun for me. But yeah, listen.
All right, so with me now is the one and only Wendigoon, and I'd like to ask you directly, man, if you have a message, responding to all this drama that has you at the forefront of it.
Yeah, so the first thing I want to say, well, really the only thing I want to say, which I mentioned in that YouTube comment, is please do not harass, be rude, unkind to anyone on my behalf or any behalf. That's not what I stand by. That's not what I stand for. It makes me sad to see people who claim to be my fans, people who support me, go down to their level, so to speak, right? Just attacking someone, being rude or whatever. I like to think I'm better than that, so please don't do that on my behalf. Now, I'm not going to
We didn't do it on his
tweet that,
behalf.
post that anywhere, because as of right now, the only people who are aware of this situation from my audience, as far as I know, are people who have maybe seen someone else's video or they've seen a tweet about it or whatever. If I broadcast that, if I'm like, hey, all you hundreds of thousands of people who have never heard of this story, don't attack this guy. People are going to be upset regardless of what I say, and he's going to get attacked way more than he is now. So that's the only reason I'm not announcing it or talking about it anywhere, because I don't want him to be attacked, but please don't attack him.
That's really cruel and evil and far right of you. I will say.
Of course it is. I'm actually doing like an 8D chess maneuver to make me sound superior. Yeah, that's what. But no, in all seriousness, this guy, he seems to hate me a lot, which is fine. Not everyone has to like me. I've kind of racked my brain the past couple days, like, have I ever said anything to this guy?
It doesn't
have
matter.
I ever been rude to him, said anything about him? And I don't think I have. And I've been a person that's had trouble forgiving other people, or like I've just harbored, hate towards other people in my life, and it's not fun. It's hard on the bones, right? To keep kind of this anger locked up. And it sounds like there's a lot of spitefulness. I'm not sure what I've done. The points he espoused in the video is that, it's because I followed him, because I liked his video. He took us something else. Maybe that's all. Maybe there's more. I don't know. But whatever it is, I'm sorry if I've attributed to that in any way. And regardless, I'm sorry he feels that way. At the end of the day, he has to live with it more than anyone else. The anger he's got, and just dogpiling on and saying that you don't like him, or you don't like his videos, or you don't like him as a person, whatever. It doesn't help. It doesn't help me. It doesn't help him. It doesn't help resolve the situation. It just makes people dig further into the trench lines they're already at. So again, please don't. And to him directly, I'm sorry, for this perception of anything I've given you. I'm sorry if I've ever devalued from you or your channel. I apologize, and I sincerely mean it. I hope you find whatever you're looking for. I want everyone,
big fucking
regardless
dick.
if
That's
they
what
like
he's
me or
looking
not,
for.
to do well. Christ didn't say love people who are nice to you. He just said love people. If you say stuff online, you're going to get pushback for it if it's, any kind of controversial, but I hope you don't let that deter you in the long run. I hope you can continue to pursue your dreams. I promise I will not try to stand in the way of that, and I hope none of my followers do. But as mentioned, there's some people I can't corral regardless of what I say. But yeah, just I hope you do well, and I'm sorry for all of this happening.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the cruel far-right extremist Wendigoon.
Thank you, Brandon.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm filled with hate. I don't fucking give a shit. This guy's a piece of shit. Fucking with his little fucking mustache. Piece of shit, doesn't know how to fucking review fucking movies. You suck at your fucking job. You're bad. I don't know how the fuck you got. Don't you fucking start playing shit. Don't do that, Mikey.
I was putting his picture up here so we could see.
How about you put the fucking
the cowboy
cowboy?
one? There.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, hold on.
I had
let me
it. You moved it.
Shut up. There you go.
Oh, there. Perfect.
Yeah, there you go. With his red tint. It's red tint. By the way, nice fucking garage. Anyway, or what is that? Your barn? No, it's a garage. It has
This
a
garage.
thing right
Yeah,
there.
it's a garage.
Yeah. First off, fuck you. You suck at fucking your horror reviews. Oh, they're just reviews. What I said before, right? Yeah. He can have his opinion about shit, but when you start allegoring fucking things that aren't there, kind of makes you a piece of shit. This guy looks very familiar. He kind of looks like remember the remake of the Fantastic Four?
Yes.
Mr. Fantastic. And I know why he has the mustache. Because that guy recently was in Top Gun Maverick, and he had a mustache. This is a gay horror review version of that dude. Now, mind you, am I making fun of him being gay? No.
No.
I'm just saying that Cowboy Fest is.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say this. He's losing his hair because he would. Why is he not? I mean, he's wearing a hat. It's obvious he is. His reviews are garbage, tier, clickbait to make his leftist heart feel better about the world because a stupid, Mikey, because we don't like it. We're conservative, anarchist people that are witch, and we hate minorities and all that stuff. Well, I can tell you this: you're gonna make me go down this rabbit hole, Mikey. I need to know what he said about fucking Pumpkinhead.
Oh, you'll love it.
Will I?
No.
I have this weird. If it's not, if he puts that bullshit about, the iodized white people taking over, and the allegory of the kid, mind you, the kid in there is a fucking white kid, and fucking, the dad, the guy that played Bishop, and fucking, this allegory for minorities or something like that. And I'll be like,
so real quick, he doesn't do that. I actually don't remember anything he said that was too bad in that. He said some stupid stuff that I don't think is right. But I really don't think it was that bad. Like, what I played you was the worst thing I've seen, and I only watched like 3 videos of his.
I know if you go into our like a Horrorama like playlist of mine on my channel, you can see videos from this channel that were privatized, or unseen and stuff. And we did do Pumpkinhead. You didn't like it, but you're Southern, so you get offended by everything. But this guy, like, God, Mikey, you opened up a can of worms here.
I know I did. That's what I was going for.
I thought this was gonna be fun. I was gonna put the Freddy mask on. We were gonna be like, oh, ha ha ha. He has dumb takes. I didn't think I was gonna get triggered on how many dumb takes this guy has.
Oh yes.
And he has like some anger towards all those conservative assholes. They won't allow me to marry a pig. Like, no.
Conservative, aka anybody who disagrees with me or does anything that is in my genre of thing.
Yeah, because if you're a liberal, you'll be a race turner. Is that what he called that the little girl?
A turncoat.
Yeah.
A race
a race baiter.
Race turncoat or something like. I don't even remember because it was so stupid.
That is the thing that got me the most. That is the thing that I'm like, oh my God, he is literally saying that this girl is a Uncle Tom. And I'm like, wow, you are a piece of shit. And this guy, I bet you money, is a racist piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
He will bring up color, he'll bring up race, he'll bring up gender, he'll bring up all this shit to prove his point that white people are bad. Other than the fact that he's white himself, but no, it's because he's a proud, cowboy gay guy.
He's gay. He's part of all of it. He's a minority.
No, so is Kevin Spacey.
If he's gay.
Kevin Spacey is too.
That's true. I mean, why are you talking bad about your brother, man?
Yeah. Or is he a turncoat too?
Oh.
Turncoat of the turncoat. All I know is that coat needs to go away.
And with that,
what are those called? What are those called? Stringy things.
Tassels.
Oh,
I don't know. I think they're called something different on.
Burn them.
And with that, we're gonna end the video. Be sure to check out our producer Leaping Lemur on YouTube, and be sure to check out the Ben and Bear Show on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share the video, and give us a comment on what you think about this. Are his reviews any good? Please link us any review you think is good.
No, don't,
Please,
because Mikey's gonna make you watch it.
Do it to
and then
Cora.
we're gonna get a 30 fucking minute video of me just bitching about 5 seconds of the fucking review.
But it's mwah. It's perfect.
Fuck you.
And we'll see you next video. Bye.
Fuck Cowboys.
Andy Dick screaming his Oompaville cries. Cyrex covered in scabs with bed bugs lies.